I'm just amazed that today is Access to Information Day. Yes, as it's called, you don't have access to information that is simply floating openly on the internet and on social networks. When? In Istanbul in April 2022, an agreement was reached that we would cease hostilities and accept an agreement with the Ukrainians. And when was it more Johnson ripped off? Even before all this failed, we were asked as a gesture of goodwill to take troops from the outskirts of Kiev, from this, including this village of Bucha. We did, I think we're dealing with decent people, they're low guns, but we were, of course, deceived and eaten on the internet. There's a video on the internet where after the Russian troops left there, the mayor of this city, the mayor of the city says on camera that here we have regained control of our homeland, boy. So now we are here again. The Russian masters are not here. 14 Nodor passed, and suddenly the BBC team. Nice day. Media. The BBC agency team shows television footage not somewhere in the basement, but on the central street of this Bucha. Wide, long streets where bodies are laid, on which the bodies are laid. And they said, these are the Russians. Accordingly, when they were here, they committed such a crime. I'll repeat, it was after 2. After we left there, and new sanctions were announced in this regard. And here we are since then. Well, it's useless to count on some kind of investigation. We took the simplest route. We asked, can we see a list of the names of the people whose bodies have been shown on the BBC? And there was silence. I asked. Butiroshi told him about it again. Yesterday he said, well, we'll contact again. They have already turned to the Ukrainian regime. No one tells them anything. If he doesn't report, then there's nothing to hide. The Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights contacted us at our request, and no one is telling us anything. The question is closed, Butch. We are sucker. Putin's forgetfulness of wine is how Biden described it all, so there is no secret for us here. No, this is a pure provocation, just like when Navalny will be mentioned overnight. When he got sick, and the Germans asked to give him to them for treatment, we immediately missed their plane. They even took him away. They did not comply with the necessary aviation formalities, and he was there with them in a civilian hospital where nothing was found on him. And then he was transferred to a military hospital where they found this substance, Novichok. Then he kind of recovered, came back and died here. When he was there, we asked the Germans to show the tests that proved that he was poisoned. With this substance, the Germans said that it was a secret and that they would give this analysis to the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. We went there, you can see we answered. The Germans forbade us to show it to you. Nothing seems strange to you here. Therefore, when the uproar broke out after Navalny's death, we once again reminded the Germans, can we see what the analysis was and how you treated him before he returned to Russia? Complete silence. The same thing about the poisoning of the Skripals in Salisbury. No information, despite official requests. Our investigative committee of the Attorney General's office to their colleagues in Britain. Media? So to speak, the foam is broken. Russia was blamed for everything, and it immediately leaves the front pages of television screens.
This is it.
We know. That's why we will talking about Navalny and demanding the truth. And if you are interested, will you organize a journalistic investigation? Well, just ask Ukrainians why you can't get these names. My friends, you are professionals. I hope you should be interested, or you will, as Evelyn said. And what Lavrov said about Bucha, it means. It's their crime, and he's talking about it. Let's try to find out a little.